Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're all about unlocking a superpower for preschoolers, reading. Specifically, we're diving into Endless Reader, an app hoping to make learning common words a fun game. Whether you're getting ready for a little one, work with kids, or just curious about these educational apps, you're in the right place.
The really interesting thing about Endless Reader is it really focuses on sight words. You know, those common words like the, see, and the kind that pop up all the time in children's books.
Okay, sight words, got it. But they seem kind of simple, right?
You'd think so. But here's the thing, they don't always follow those typical phonetic rules, which can make them tricky for kids who are just starting to read.
Makes sense. So tell me more about the app itself. The App Store mentioned it's made by the same people behind Endless Alphabet, even some Sesame Street veterans.
That's right. They definitely know a thing or two about making learning fun and effective for young minds. And instead of just boring flashcards, Endless Reader uses interactive word puzzles, animations, you name it, to keep kids engaged.
So, lots of fun, but how does it actually work?
Imagine this, the word dog on the screen, but not just plain text, big, playful letters. And as a child drags each letter to the right spot, D-O-G, you hear these little chimes, like a mini celebration. And once the word is complete, a cute animated dog pops up, barking happily. It's all about connecting words to these vivid sensory experiences, which works wonders at that age.
So it's not just seeing the word, but hearing it too.
Exactly. By engaging multiple senses, it's like creating a mental highway for those words to stick. This multisensory approach is really important for preschoolers because they don't think abstractly in the same way we do.
Okay, I can see how that would work, but is there proof it actually does?
Well, Endless Reader has a fantastic 4.5-star rating on the App Store, with rave reviews from parents and teachers. One review in particular stood out to me. It was from a parent whose child has ASD, and they were amazed by how Endless Reader captivated their child's attention. It really sparked a love for words.
Wow, that's incredible. It really shows you how powerful an app like this can be, especially for children with diverse needs. You know, to learn more about how it all works, I actually watched a YouTube video showcasing Endless Reader. There was this one part where they were introducing the word ball, and honestly, it was just the cutest thing.
Oh, I love those moments. Educational and adorable. I'm sold.
Okay, so picture this. The letters B-A-L-L are all scattered across the screen, and as these little animated hands put each letter in place, there are these playful xylophone sounds. And then, the best part. Once the word is formed, a big bouncy ball appears, bouncing around to these happy sounds.
That's brilliant. They're tapping into that natural love for play that kids have. At that age, learning shouldn't feel like work. It should feel like an exciting discovery.
Right. And the video showed how Endless Reader uses these words in simple sentences too. So after the ball fun, they had a sentence like the ball is red. It builds on that word recognition and shows children how it all fits together.
Exactly. It's not just about memorizing words in isolation. It's about understanding how they function in a sentence, building that foundation for grammar and comprehension.
And they use this same approach with other words too, like cake, dog, eat, even funny. Each word gets its own little animated show.
It's taking something as abstract as a word and turning it into this memorable experience. I bet those animations stay with kids long after they've put the app down. Speaking of, did you come across any criticisms of Endless Reader? Even with the best of intentions, no educational tool is perfect. You're right, there's always room for improvement. And sometimes those criticisms can be the most helpful.
For sure. And speaking of criticisms, there was one review that offered a different perspective. This parent, while liking the app overall, felt it could use a more structured progression. They thought having a clearer path, like unlocking new words as kids learn, would be helpful.
That's a common theme in educational technology, isn't it? That balance between letting kids explore freely, which Endless Reader seems to go for, versus a more structured step-by-step approach. Both sides have valid points.
Right. This reviewer even suggested adding rewards for completing words to keep them motivated. What are your thoughts on that? Maybe a little digital high five.
It's the big question of gamification in education, right? Do those rewards, digital stickers, celebratory sounds actually make kids enjoy learning or just train them to chase rewards? There's research on both sides. Some studies say rewards can be good for certain learners, especially early on. But if you rely on them too much, it might take away from the pure joy of learning itself.
It reminds me of that study with kids and crayons, right? The kids rewarded for drawing were less interested in drawing later compared to those who just drew for fun.
Exactly. It shows how tricky it is to balance those external rewards with internal motivation. Ideally, an app like Endless Reader would find that balance, maybe offer optional rewards for those who respond well to them.
That makes sense. But this reviewer had one more point I found really interesting. They noticed that in those word puzzles, you don't have to put the letters in the right order for the animation to play. Like, a kid could spell dog as go-D, and they'd still get the barking dog.
I see what they mean. Teaching kids the correct letter order is important, especially at that age, for early spelling skills. It sets the stage for those literacy rules.
Right. This reviewer even brought up another popular word puzzle app, Wordplay, that makes you spell it correctly for the animation. It made me think, is one way always better? Or is it about finding what works best for each child?
That's the real question, isn't it? There's no one right answer in education, just like there's no single app that'll be perfect for every child.
So, based on this feedback, should Endless Reader completely change their approach?
Not necessarily. It's more about acknowledging there's always room to get better. Instead of starting from scratch, they can maybe offer different learning modes. One mode could be that open exploration style people like, while another mode could have more structure and really focus on spelling.
Ooh, I like that. Give users choices. Cater to the kids who love to explore and those who prefer a little more guidance.
Exactly. It's about seeing the different ways kids learn, not as a problem, but as a chance to make the experience even better and more inclusive.
It just shows you the power of technology, right? Being able to constantly adapt and personalize things based on feedback.
It's a process, just like learning itself, which I think is pretty cool.
You know, as we're wrapping up this deep dive, it really hits home that this isn't just about some app with cute animations.
It's much bigger than that.
Right. It's about opening up a whole world of possibilities for these little ones.
Absolutely. Early literacy is truly fundamental. It's the basis for everything else they'll learn.
Exactly. We're giving them the tools to understand the world and their place in it.
And what I love about Endless Reader is how much emphasis they put on making it fun. Learning to read shouldn't be a chore. It should feel like an adventure.
And they're doing that with such thoughtful design, engaging their senses. It makes you wonder, how else could we use this multisensory approach in education?
The possibilities are huge. Imagine if we applied this to math, history, even coding. We could be on the edge of a whole new era in educational technology, one that really understands the importance of play and making it personal.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, what are some key things you hope our listeners take away from this?
Well, first and foremost, I hope they have a new appreciation for sight words. They may seem simple, but those words are the foundation for becoming a fluent reader.
They're essential. And beyond sight words.
I hope this deep dive got people thinking about the different ways kids learn, whether it's through what they see, what they hear, or a combination. Understanding that is crucial for helping each child reach their full potential.
So true. Every child is different, and their learning journey should be too. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Till next time, stay curious and keep exploring those new ways to learn and grow.